Dave Palumbo here with another RX Muscle rant. Today's topic is going to be eating disorders, and an eating disorder that I don't think I would ever talk about. It's called sham feeding. What is sham feeding, you ask? Well, it's somewhere between anorexia and bulimia. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about it before I get to it and how it relates to bodybuilding. I was in medical school back in the early 90s, and we were learning about food disorders, eating disorders, and they talked about sham feeding. And sham feeding is the act of actually chewing your food and spitting it out. So you're never actually swallowing the food. But people get the taste. They'll put like, you know, they'll eat like a cheeseburger, they'll eat French fries, but they don't actually swallow it. So while we're learning about this, I had a very good friend of mine, Jesse Haid, who's now a fertility expert. And I'm a bodybuilding analyst. Anyway, he said to me, hey, Dave, you know, I'm very familiar with sham feeding. I said, you are? He said, yes, my sister was into it for a while. It was one of her stages of weight loss she went through when she was a teenager. I said, oh, really? What did she sham feed? He goes, well, we were on Thanksgiving one year, my mom had made a 20-pound turkey and all the stuffing and all this stuff. And we were in the other room and we were watching the football game. And we go in to eat dinner, and my sister's like kind of hiding in the corner. And my father's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? And they went into the kitchen and they found that she had sham ate the whole turkey. 20-pound turkey. She had chewed it and spit it out into the garbage, and the entire turkey it looked like a vulture had come down and eviscerated the whole thing. And that was my first exposure. I had never heard the term sham feeding until just recently when a client of mine had asked me, hey, you know, I got 3 weeks left of the show. I'm starving to death. A lot of guys online have been telling me that I should sham feed. I'm like, that's that word. I haven't heard of sham feeding. I'm like, what are they sham feeding? Oh, anything you want, you know. You could eat, burgers and fries and sushi. I'm like, first of all, why would you want to waste the food? Secondly, I said, are you nuts? Are you crazy? Do you understand how dysfunctional that is to chew food and spit it out? Number one, you're always going to absorb something, okay? I don't care what you do, because people don't sham feed usually healthy food. They sham feed ice cream and donuts and stuff like that, and you're always swallowing. It's like brushing your teeth. You can never really get all the toothpaste out of your mouth. You're definitely swallowing some of it. So you're getting calories in there. I guarantee it. There's no way, and especially if you're sham feeding a lot of food, okay? You're definitely swallowing stuff. And if you're swallowing, you're releasing insulin, and obviously you're absorbing calories, and it's going to ruin your diet. That's not even really what's wrong with this. I mean, what's wrong with this picture? Spitting food out. That's dysfunctional behavior. When you start acting dysfunctionally, behaviorally speaking, you do other dysfunctionally behavioral things. So that one thing leads to the other, and what I noticed is when people start doing stuff like that, they wind up actually eating the food eventually, then they feel guilty, and then they wind up doing 3 hours of cardio to burn it off, which just makes them hungrier, which makes them sham feed more, which makes them cheat more, and it's this vicious cycle of creating, dysfunctional behavior, and ultimately that always leads to a horrible physique, okay? So guys, no sham feeding, no dysfunctional eating. Stick to the plan, listen to your coach. I'm Dave Palumbo with another RX Muscle rant.